Privacy plus DeFi. DeFi gives you income and all sorts of financial activities, and privacy gives you freedom. In this video, we're going to be finding out what's coming up with one of the top privacy DeFi protocols going.
NordVPN is becoming more than just a VPN. Threat protection will guard your device against malicious websites, malware, trackers, and intrusive ads, even if you're not connected to a VPN server at the time. Step up your cybersecurity and stay safe.
Introducing the EliPal Titan 2.0 hardware wallet. Super secure, super safe, super easy to use. Use my link bit.ly/CryptoRichEliPal for a discount. Privacy plus DeFi. DeFi gives you income and all sorts of financial activities, and privacy gives you freedom. In this video, we're going to be finding out what's coming up with one of the top privacy DeFi protocols going. Hi, everybody, it's Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto. I am joined once again by Carter Woetzel. He's one of the team, or the lead at Shade Protocol. We did a video together which is all about Shade, giving you an overview. Please go and watch that if you haven't already. In this video, we're going to be talking about what's coming up with Shade. Now, before I introduce him, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT, join my official Telegram announcements channel. And if you're watching this on YouTube, come over to bit.ly/CryptoRichOdyssey and bit.ly/CryptoRich3Speak. You can earn crypto just for watching and commenting on those channels. Hey, Carter, thank you so much for coming back again. So soon after our first video as well.
I know, so soon. Thanks for having me on. Excited to talk about some of the Shade Protocol roadmap, and thanks for everyone tuning in.
Yep, and we're not going to, just in a nutshell, Shade offers privacy, decentralized finance, so people don't know all the stuff that you're doing. They can't see each other, which has all sorts of important applications for individuals, but also for businesses. Okay, so we talked about it more in the other video, and here we're just going to talk about the stuff that's coming up. Now, Shade launched, I think, was it a couple of years ago by airdrop, wasn't it?
Yes, 2020, February of 2022, the airdrop just ended. It was 638 days that the airdrop was available to be claimed. Wow, so it was a long time. We kind of left it for a long time.
And I got some Shade in the airdrop because I had Secret Network. And it's a fabulous, fabulous project. And you've been building and building and building. What have you built? And more importantly, what is coming up?
It's a great question. So what we've built so far is we have built a front-running resistant and privacy-preserving decentralized exchange called ShadeSwap. We've also launched one of the world's first privacy-preserving stablecoins called Silk. We have a bridging experience that allows folks from Ethereum and folks from the Cosmos ecosystem to seamlessly bridge in their crypto assets and then have privacy wrap around their tokens. So kind of adding on those private transactions. We've also launched some more power user products. I won't talk about these, but I'll still name them, tied to bonds and staking derivatives. So yeah, lots of products have been built. But now as we head towards 2024, we have two really killer use cases that I think we'll have a chance to talk about that are being built.
Yeah, and you said in the first video how Shade is, like Uniswap is for Ethereum, Shade is that for privacy, for Secret Network and the Cosmos assets, but also the Cosmo assets, but also for the Ethereum assets because they can be bridged over.
Yes, they can.
Okay, so there's staking, there's liquidity pool mining that allows you to earn, both allow earning passive income, and I get a sense of a whole ecosystem being built. Okay,
definitely. So we're kind of a firm believer that you can't just have like an isolated product with privacy. You kind of have to build an entire ecosystem of decentralized finance. It would kind of be like maybe launch it, like having a neighborhood in the middle of nowhere where there's a gas station but not a restaurant. Something like that. Like you kind of have to build out all those essentials to make it a thriving neighborhood. And private DeFi today is just kind of like a desert with, these kind of standalone, isolated buildings. And we're really trying to build a cohesive city of private DeFi.
Okay. And what sort of applications have been built on Shade? Or are there the projects and stuff as well?
So essentially, like, we have this very, very aggressive grants program to pull in other teams and builders into the Shade Protocol family. So there's lots of developers that don't want to launch their own token, don't want to have to bootstrap a community, marketing, any of that stuff. And so they come in, totally different team, and they kind of add on. It's like building blocks. Everyone's building different building blocks within this vision. So far, no new tokens. It's just been a really distributed set of builders that have different expertises, right? So some have stablecoin expertise, others have trading expertise, others have lending and borrowing, others are more focused on payments. And it's this big Shade Protocol developer family. However, we're starting to build out tooling and starting to see more and more interest from other projects that want to build on top of all the building blocks we've built out. So my guess is in 2024, we will start to see other tokens and new projects make their home on top of all these building blocks that we've been building for the last 2-3 years.
Okay. All right. Now, the thing about no other tokens, wasn't there something with Shade that when new projects launch, that they get rewarded, that the token holders get rewarded in Shade or something?
You might be thinking about how all the fees just go back to the Shade token. It's not like a lot of these other ecosystems, there's 20 tokens, 20 websites, there's like incentives fractured all over the place. But with Shade Protocol, everything right now to date has been super cohesive, right? Shade Swap, the decentralized exchange has the same token as the stablecoin, has the same token as the bridge, and this and that. So it's all nice and cohesive. And so as a Shade token holder, you get to experience the benefits of that kind of unified experience.
Right. Okay, that's it. Okay, so what is coming up?
Yes. So two incredibly exciting developments. One of them is Finna. So Finna is doing prepaid debit cards tied to smart contracts on Secret Network, tied to Shade Protocol. So what that means is you will be able to, convert your yields on Shade Protocol. You can turn that yield into Silk, load up a debit card with Silk, our stablecoin, and if you're in Europe, you'll be able to go and spend it on everyday goods, Visa compatible, across the entirety of Europe. And so we are literally bridging from the world of decentralized finance back to your everyday life.
Okay, so I could, for example, not financial advice, but I could do this. I could buy some Shade, stake it, buy some of the other assets in the Shade ecosystem, stake them, liquidity pool mining, do all that sort of stuff, and then I will earn regular income yield. And then that yield I can convert to Silk, put it in this Fina prepaid debit card, and then go shopping wherever Visa is accepted.
Yes.
And when is that launching?
So we are targeting early Q1 of 2024. And the whole debit card experience will be managed from the Shade Protocol app. There's going to be on the left side part of the webpage, there's going to be a card tab. You'll literally be able to fully manage your card from there. Another really cool part about Finna is that they're non-custodial. So your funds, the Silk tied to your debit card, essentially sits on a smart contract account. And then the only time Finna's service really steps in is when you're actually like performing a transaction. That's when little chain reaction gets kicked off. So it's really, really innovative what they're doing. They're trying to keep it as permissionless, non-custodial, and private as possible.
People got to do KYC to get a Finna card?
So that's actually, yes, that is a trade-off. That is a trade-off there. I forgot about that. That is, unfortunately, in the world of regular commerce, cards that have no identity attached to them are not a thing. So, yeah.
Not quite as good as cash, right?
But not quite as good as cash. But from our perspective, baby steps. Because one day when merchants directly accept blockchain payments and don't go through Visa, one day.
Yes.
So consider this the 25% of the way there on the journey, and it's something to celebrate. But you are correct that we still have ways to go.
Okay, and it was it is the intersection between crypto and fiat. The gatekeepers of fiat, like, they want to know who's coming in, right?
Yep.
So yes, there's KYC at that. And you said Europe. Is that the European Union countries, or will it also include Britain, where I am?
That is a good question. I would have to ask their team about.
Okay, because they have different regulatory environments. And Fina, do they do this with other cryptocurrency projects?
So far, Silk is going to be kind of the flagship stablecoin. Technically, there will be stuff tied to Secret and USDC as well. But there's a particular focus on Silk the Silk integration. We have a extra intimate actually, like even the cards themselves, you'll be able to buy like that. You'll be able to have a Silk card with the Silk logo on it, right? So
Right. Okay. Okay. Very good. I'm just thinking, it may be that certain people may have a lot of assets in another fabulous decentralized exchange that they might want to bring over when this comes out.
because the
Okay.
utility, I mean, I think it's groundbreaking, right? Like I think the concept of having your yields be transferable to a grocery store just blows my mind. Because to date, it's like, oh, okay, I have to go to this bridge, send it back to Coinbase, sell it on Coinbase, then it goes to my bank account, and then get it here. And it's just like there's like all of these steps.
Ever. Yeah. And all those steps, I'm losing money on the fees.
Hmm.
And it's taking time as well. And there's always the risk of a fat finger. Whoops.
Hmm.
As well, right?
So imagine in the same app that you're doing your
Just click
DeFi,
a button.
is click a button, boom, card.
Click a button, gone. Okay.
That's how you get
exciting.
That's what it means to continue to bridge the gap.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. So that's one. What else is coming up?
So the other huge primitive that's on testnet is the world's first privacy-preserving money market. For any of you that don't know what a money market is, that buzzword, don't worry. We'll explain it to you right now. Essentially, you have the opportunity to lend out your crypto in a permissionless and private fashion. So no one knows how much you're lending out. And that level of privacy is super, super powerful. And on the borrowing side, you can essentially put down collateral and then borrow other cryptos within this permissionless lending market. So anyone familiar with Aave on Ethereum, it's essentially that, but with privacy. And the doors really open up here. Like the simplest analogy is like, you can take a loan out against your house, right? So you still have to put down collateral, and then you can take a loan against it. But in this analogy with the money market, picture putting your house down as collateral, but then borrowing a cryptocurrency from someone else. And in the event that you get liquidated, your house, your other crypto is what's being given back to the person that you borrowed from. So totally permissionless lending and borrowing environment. And what I'm most excited for is, like I said, that yield story of imagine depositing Bitcoin privately, passively earning 5 to 10% yield, converting that yield privately into Silk, and then putting that Silk on a debit card. It's like the dream is I don't have to use a bank anymore.
Yes.
Can I get away from a bank? Can I start performing my everyday life without a bank? And like we are on track to do that type of thing.
Oh my God, that is very, very cool. That is very cool. Not having to go through the banking system. Now, and then what assets can be loaned out and borrowed?
Yes. So out of the gates, it's going to be things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDC, USDT, Atom, Secret, and Silk. Those are kind of the big seven. And then there'll be support for other crypto assets as well, but those will be the starting set. We'd love to add on things like PaxG, like gold. We'd love to support some form of the euro as well within that lending and borrowing market. And as other quality assets come along, we would love to add them in.
Okay, but those ones, apart from Silk, they don't run on the Secret network. They don't run on the Shade protocol, so they need to be bridged over.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, and then you can bridge over and wrap Bitcoin. You'll be able to do that, and you did mention that Ethereum anyway, and Atom, of course. Okay, and how secure is it? Like if I put my Bitcoin, come on, this is Bitcoin.
Yep.
Carter, what's the risk?
I know. So honestly, from my perspective, there's two different bridges that are emerging in Cosmos. So one is Axelar, which I would definitely look them up. They're like a top 200 crypto project. They've been around for at this point probably 3 years. No exploits thus far, right? Cross your fingers. So like I personally use Axelar all the time. I trust them, but of course there's big risk to bridges. The other one that's coming is called Nomic. They're live right now, and they're a Bitcoin focused.
Before we go into Nomic, right? Because one of the risks with bridges is they're not decentralized.
Mm-hmm.
So that someone somewhere has control over those assets, and I think that's also the case with Axelar.
So Axelar is a whole decentralized blockchain devoted to bridging. So in their case, typically the bridges that people are concerned about are like a multi-sig, where it's like 9 people, like you're entrusting your assets to 9 people to not get hacked or be maliciously attacked. Axelar has over 100 nodes that are working together to manage the bridging. So the risk is much more distributed out. There's still a risk, of course. There's still a risk, but it's a little bit more distributed out. So my answer is whenever people are concerned about like the bridging experience, I would say like just wait 2-3 years. Like use a small amount or just like be patient. Let the technology continue to evolve. Keep your Bitcoin in cold storage. And of course, like only start to interact with decentralized finance once it's proven itself out. Once that security is like, oh wow, this project's been around for 5 years or 10 years and hasn't had any exploits. And then start to scale up the size of your participation as you become comfortable with the proven track record. So I never want to push people to like take risks that aren't
Sure.
responsible.
No, absolutely, and even with Bitcoin, there's a risk.
Mhm.
Even after all these, because I mean, suppose there's even a risk with gold. Perish
Mhm.
the thought, right? It could fall out of your pocket, right? So there's no
True.
guarantees. There's no guarantees in life. But I don't think gold, being the ultimate form of money, is ever going to go to zero, right? Everything's measured against gold, but
Yeah.
there's still a risk. Okay. Now, the other thing about and we'll come to Nomic in a moment, are the fees for bridging.
Mhm.
Are they low? Are they high? Is it worth it?
That's a good question. Honestly, I would say the bridging fees on Axelar is kind of based off of the level of activity. So like you said, you've been in 4 bull markets before. So like bear market bridging, very cheap, very easy. Everyone's like, yeah, I use my bridge. And then bull market, it's like, oh, now it's $50 to bridge, right? So like, yeah, it's definitely more on the expensive side. No such thing as a free lunch in the world of bridging and security. I wish there was cheaper solutions. I actually think Nomic's bridge, which is more it's more experimental. So I wouldn't recommend using Nomic yet.
Well,
We're
it's not
looking.
you can't send it out. I've got Nomic. You can't send it out of the wallet. All I'm doing is compounding my stakes. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, so you hold Nomic? You've interacted with Nomic before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
I,
you
I
know
got
you know
I
about
got
the bridge.
I got the airdrop. I got the
You got
airdrop.
you got there. I've met some of the builders. I think they're super sharp. But like for me, I have a lot of anxiety about bridges. So I'm kind of like, you got to show me at least a year track record before I'm like convinced to start using you in a bigger fashion. But they're part of the Cosmos. They're tied to IBC, which is the thing that allows everyone to bridge assets around. So I think we'll see them grow over time. But Axelar for now is considered the de facto bridge. And yes, the bridging costs, they're there. I wish they were cheaper. I'm not in the business of solving the economics of bridging. Maybe that'll be 2030 for me. Maybe we'll make a bridge, but not
But
right now.
I think as the ecosystem evolves and as cryptocurrency evolves and as demand increases, those costs will go down. I mean, I remember in 2017, Crypto Kittens and what they did to Ethereum transaction fees. Oh my God. Oh my God. Right. It was like sometimes, $100 to send a little bit of ETH or an ERC20 because it was so congested. But with the emergence of Matic and Near Protocol, then
Yep.
those fee and Binance Smart Chain, those fees are minimal. So with the evolution of technology. So I think the
Yeah.
same thing will happen here. I mean, look at what Shade Protocol does. Put it next to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's like this fabulous trend-setting, groundbreaking Model T, right? And Shade is like this Batmobile with an invisibility cloak or something,
I
right?
like it. Batmobile analogy. I gotta steal that.
You're welcome to it, right? But the evolution compared to what Bitcoin does, it's slow and clunky and secure, and everybody loves it, been around forever. And then the Batmobile of Shade. Okay, so the other one is with Nomic. People can move it over, and I think what will happen is people will test it out. You got the test net. You'll do all the testing. You'll have all the the bug bounties and everything, and people trying to hack into it deliberately as a way of testing it, and then people will start using it. And I imagine people will hopefully just try it out with a small amount relative to their holdings. If someone's got 10,000 Bitcoin, yeah, throw a Bitcoin at it, see what happens. If someone's got 10,000 Satoshi, okay, I'll throw a few hundred Satoshi, see what happens.
It's true. It's always experiment with whatever size you're comfortable with, and some people have a higher risk appetite than others. And I would say most people that are using any of these DeFi products already have some risk appetite. Although I would argue the more time that goes on, the people that are stuck in traditional finance are actually starting to incur more and more risk. I think like eventually being stuck there and not moving your capital into this world is actually going to be the extractions coming from you, and you're giving up your freedoms and your yields to a centralized entity when you can be part of this global ecosystem and earn the money you deserve with your money and have control over the money that you deserve. And that's why, as I said on the last episode, I'll say it again here, your money, your data, your decisions. That's what Shade Protocol is all about empowering.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. So then back to the borrowing and lending. Why would anybody want to borrow crypto, and how do they pay it back? And what's the interest rate's going to be like?
Yes. So the interest rates are dynamic. So essentially, the more people, so let's say there's 100 Bitcoin being lent out from 40 people, like it's available to be, drawn on within this lending and borrowing market. If someone comes in and deposits, 150 Bitcoin and they want to borrow that other 100 Bitcoin and they take the entirety of it, they take all 100, they're going to be paying a super high interest rate because they borrowed 100% of it, right? So the interest rate will be super, super high, encouraging that person to essentially like pay back their loan quicker. On the flip side, if there's 100 Bitcoin to be borrowed and only 1 Bitcoin is taken, the interest rate that has to be paid by the borrower will be really, 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 really low, like 0.01%, right? So it's totally dynamic. And from a lender's perspective, this is really a protection for you because you want to be able to, withdraw when you want to withdraw. And in the event that someone's like really making a big move, you better be paying me really good money for making that big move. And remember, this thing is still over collateralized. So that 150 Bitcoin is still deposited to borrow that 100 Bitcoin. And as a lendee, you know that like you're going to, worst case scenario, you're going to be able to draw on that over collateralization. But in the interim, you're getting paid a really nice interest rate. So yeah, it's about protecting and managing the relationship between lenders and borrowers. And why would someone borrow crypto? I mean, it's ultimately financial expression. You might want to be able to go and leverage up and be extremely bullish on Bitcoin, or maybe you're short Bitcoin. And as Forex markets and more currencies and commodities start to come on chain, legitimate businesses will want to hedge their risk and their exposure to different parts of the global economy, and they'll want to be able to do this in this permissionless and decentralized way. So most everyday folks, I won't recommend using leverage, but it's a key part of the global economy.
Right, but it might also be like for a simple transaction, borrow a little bit of Atom or Bitcoin and then use it to buy, I don't know, some particular project token that you think the value is going to go up, and then you sell it when the value goes up and then you pay off. It could be that, right? Now, for loaning, what sort of yields can people get? I know you said they're dynamic, but what's the range? Why would somebody loan their crypto versus staking their crypto?
Yes, the yield can be much higher on lending out. You could be earning anywhere from like a 5% yield to a 50% yield, right? So that can be on like a really quality asset too, like Bitcoin or USDC. So the primary reason you would lend out is because you take on some additional risk because you're existing within this lending and borrowing ecosystem, but you get more yields in return. Another really cool use case of like why I would borrow is you can actually gain more exposure to staking. So some people just like love staking. And so what you can do is you could essentially like deposit something like ST Atom, which is a liquid staking token that's constantly accruing and compounding your staking yields tied to Atom. You could put that down as collateral, borrow more Atom, and then take that Atom and stake it, right? So now you're earning like 3x exposure to Atom, and I'm earning staking yield on multiple of these assets, right? So like these are like the interesting use cases and loops. Yeah, that can start to be unlocked.
Oh my god! Do you know I've got Stride, and I know I can deposit Stride and then take the stake at Statum or Stosmo and then put it in a pool. Oh my god, I can't! It's just too much.
That is crazy. The abstractions are getting pretty crazy, but for the power users are loving it, right?
Yeah. Someone smarter than me, right? They can work it all out. Good luck to them. Okay, and then loaning. Suppose okay, maybe I got a Bitcoin sitting in a hardware wallet, and it's not earning anything. It's just collecting dust in that, but it's secure in a hardware wallet. So keep your crypto in a hardware wallet. Then I go and put it in. I loan it out, and a Bitcoin is a considerable amount, and I'm earning yield on that. Well, how secure is it?
Yeah, I would say it's as secure as the smart contracts, right? So Shade Protocol, we get all of our stuff audited by a variety of folks. We have a lot of community eyes. We have a bug bounty program that people have submitted to. But at the end of the day, that is the primary risk of the system, is some sort of exploit or something happening. One thing we do pride ourselves on is like in the event of anything happening, we will make like the collective community using the Shade token will make people whole to the best of our ability. And obviously, it depends on the size of the exploit. But yeah, that is the risk, and
It is a risk. Yeah,
it is a
and I
risk.
suppose
That's
it's
why
the
we say
risk.
wait around and wait for the protocols to prove
But
themselves out.
also, it's the risk with any investment. You know, someone goes and puts some money in an ETF,
It's
or
true.
they buy shares in some gold or silver mining company, and then that company gets nationalized by the government or whatever, right? There's no guarantees in life, and don't put in any more than you can afford to lose. I was talking to a
Yep.
friend of mine the other day who was saying, she said to me, "I wish I'd listened to you about Bitcoin when you first told me about it in 2012." She said. So now she's thinking of getting in, right? And I said to her, don't put in any more than you can afford to lose. You've got to be willing to say, okay, that much I'm willing to say bye-bye to if it doesn't work out.
Yep.
That's the same with anything, same with this, right? Now, what if someone has only got a little bit of Bitcoin or a little bit of Atom? They can still loan it out. Can they also borrow small amounts?
Yep. It's totally programmatic in that sense of you can deposit 1 cent worth, or you could deposit 10 million, right? It's really capable of handling the full range. So.
Okay, I think I can manage. Maybe I could go maybe to one atom. I can manage one atom. All right.
Well, on the Bitcoin side, I actually like we have in terms of Bitcoin liquidity. Let's see, that's 2.2. We've had around 10 Bitcoin on the platform in total. So across like the deck, some of those like publicly available information, just so everyone knows what they're interacting with, is like so like there's some Bitcoin that's been moved
Yeah,
on the platform. It's not zero, it's not one,
not
it's like
zero.
10.
And we are at the tail end of the bear market, so that will go up as more and more
Yeah.
people move into this ecosystem. Um,
Yes.
and anything else you want to let us know, Carter, about what you got coming
Oh,
up?
just
Okay.
thanks for having me on, and I would just invite anyone check out app.shadeprotocol.io or shadeprotocol.io. Both of those will point you to either the landing page or the app, and I just invite you to join the community if you care about privacy, if you believe in protecting the power of sovereignty and individualism, if you're afraid of the transparent panopticon that CBDCs and transparent blockchains might be heading towards, then join Shade Protocol. Vote with your money, vote with your time, with your creativity, with your energy. We welcome you with open arms, and we look forward to engaging with you.
Carter, thank you so much. Thank you. It's been great talking to you. I look forward to having you on again. Hopefully, it won't be so long. The gap.
That's the finger wag. That's the finger wag.
And for anybody who comments and questions, do check out this project. Really, really great project. A bit of a sleeping giant of a project. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with Shade projects. This is Crypto Rich and Crypto Carter signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.